Children of the night, what music they make.
They're all gonna laugh at you!
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
What's up?
I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash you or hurt you.
That intro gets me every time. Welcome, everyone, to another fantastic episode of the Final Guys podcast. Tim Meyer here, one of your co-hosts, joined, as always, by Freddie Sweater.
Hello there.
Alien Butthole.
Ooh.
And Coolio.
1, 2, 3, 4. Get your body on the floor.
You're
Great
never
song.
Gonna live your rap shit down.
Love that song. Brings me back to the mid '90s.
It's my favorite Halloween movie.
You know, in the mid '90s is when Jack qualified for AARP.
Oh, that was a great day.
I believe it. Look
Like
at that
this
fucking
counts
shirt.
like
Jesus
restaurants.
Christ.
Where
Whose
did you
carpet
get
did you
that?
steal that off of?
This is the Overlook Hotel, my man.
I know, I'm just fucking.
Where did you get it?
Oh, one of the, all these friggin' websites we go to.
Spencer's? It looks like a Spencer's shirt.
It's not Spencer's. I
No?
think I'll look it up. I forget.
Like Jack, it's flame retardant.
But this is dedicated to Chad Lutsky. I was on his podcast recently. He has the coolest ceiling fan. So I got all kinds of Overlook Hotel.
Oh, wow.
I've got the phone case. I got the socks. Lutsky's got a ceiling fan he had them custom made, the blades of it.
Get out of here.
That is
So it's
hardcore.
so cool. So we were both wearing Overlook shirts. And we're like, hey, and the other guy, Jeremiah, was like, what the hell is with you two?
You guys are really committed to this thing.
So I was like, he said, I mentioned I had this. He was like, oh, I almost got that. So I'm wearing it to show Chad.
That's amazing.
There he is.
Nice.
And he appreciates it.
Lutsky.
I just have a board game of the movie. That's all I got.
I almost bought the board game, but I have so much crap just piled up in the house that I said no.
Yeah. I want to play it. I haven't played it yet. I've had it for 6 months, but I had planned to play it, and then COVID happened, so I can't have anybody in my house anymore. So
Wah, wah.
Well, I own the movie, so.
Me too.
Mhm.
And
Do
I
you have
have
the board game of the Mick Garris version?
my DVD
if
of the
they
movie
did,
has
I would
the
fucking buy that in a minute.
my DVD of the movie has the documentary where you watch them driving Shelley Duvall insane, which is kind of awesome.
There are video clips of that. It's kind of disturbing watching him talk to her on set. It's like, God,
Son of a
damn.
bitch. Like, if I was her husband, I would fly over there and beat the living shit out of him.
It was pretty rough.
Yeah, if I was Robert Duvall, I'd go over there and beat the hell out of him.
Arnold Duvall's related.
Oh shit. All right, so tonight we are going to be reviewing the Mortuary Collection, which is on Shudder. So you have that to look forward to. Pretty cool movie, anthology, which I've been complaining about. I haven't been watching enough of them, so I'm glad we actually chose this one, and it should make for an interesting conversation. Before we get into movies and stuff, do we have like any announcements or anything? Has anybody got anything coming out or anything fun to
I have
announce?
something. My good friend Bob Bly, he is like the number one, believe it or not, copywriter. Not copywriter, copy editor. I don't
Is
know,
this Bob
something like
Blah from
Bob
Arrested
Blah.
Development?
that. Yes, Bob Bly. He sends me stuff that he finds online. This is an actual headline, and I just want to share this. Escaped cloned female mutant crayfish take over Belgian cemetery. Is that the greatest headline ever?
Sounds
Yeah,
like a
that was my
book.
first news story.
Marbled crayfish can reproduce asexually, and all their children are genetically identical females.
Life finds a way.
Crayfish are delicious, by the way.
Just pinch the head and suck the tail, right?
That's it. That honestly sounds like a Hunter Shea book right there.
I
kinda
sent it.
does.
I sent it to my editor. Immediately go,
He's
Gary,
like approved.
what do you think we should do here?
Crayfish.
I got a couple things here. First, shout out to Pam Morris back in the comments.
Yay,
Yeah,
Pam.
cult leader.
Yay.
A long time. Second, should we put out a wellness check for Sheridan? We don't have drinking words.
What?
I I'm a little concerned.
He's probably dead. He's totally
Yeah. I don't know that guy's ever missed an episode of Final Guys.
no.
That is scary.
Yeah.
Let's all take
Well,
a social
let's
for
just fucking-
Sheridan.
Yeah, let's just drink
Yeah.
every fifth word we speak, and
There
we
you
should be good.
Every time we end a sentence with a dangling participle.
Hunter, your words are taint, ball sack.
By the way, what are you guys drinking tonight?
Good question. I'm glad you asked. I was going to bring that up. So, I am drinking Midnight Paradise in the Pines. It's a
Get
coconut
outta here.
black cream ale. Hunter, you should know this place because it's Pineland's brewery.
I
And
was there.
you and I did a book signing at that place one time.
That was awesome. I love that place. I
Yeah,
got
it was
more Bigfoot stories out of people there. Like nobody told me Jersey Devil was like, yeah, I was ATVing. They're all ATVing at night and finding Bigfoot.
Get her done.
It
Yeah.
was literally in the Pinelands. There's like, it was just woods all over, and then the brewery.
Yeah.
Good
Do
time.
Pine Barrens smell like Christmas?
Some parts. Some parts smell like a lot of weed. There's a lot of pot farms out there.
It just all smells like sweaty rednecks to me. That's all it smells like.
Wow. Coming
So
from
it
a
smells
sweaty
like home?
redneck. Yeah.
Damn it, Jason beat me to it.
We don't sweat that much. I'm drinking Wrench IPA from Industrial Arts. This is my favorite beer. It's a 7%er, so the tall one will approve. She will disapprove because it's liquid and it's moist. But I absolutely love this beer, and it's starting to get everywhere, which is great.
Nice. I'm drinking decaf coffee because I apparently did not hear again that
What?
we were.
First of all,
Dude.
I called you earlier.
You did, but I didn't have time to go to the store.
Oh my god!
Wait, in that time.
When did we say
Whatever.
this? Did we say this Friday?
We said it last night. We said it Friday during Joe Bob.
Last night.
And
I was
No, last week.
drinking in
Last
the
week.
car coming home from work to get ready.
Okay.
yeah,
When Joe Bob was on, I may have had a few prior to that.
Just me too.
What was there a movie? Did we watch a movie?
Yeah, we talked.
We
a
never
lot.
talked so much in a movie.
Haunt. I liked Haunt the first time I saw it. Never really needed to see that movie again.
I liked
Same.
watching it, but
The sad thing was
It's good.
Crazy Dave was so into the movie he wasn't
Yeah.
being himself.
Yeah.
yeah, it was.
No,
He
the
couldn't
movie's
see any
fine.
nipple.
The movie's fine. I liked it, like I said, but watching it again, I was much more into just talking.
yeah,
Yeah.
same.
I am drinking some pumpkin ale that the containers in the other room. So, and I'm only having one. As I said last week, I got to get up early tomorrow. So,
I do too, and I don't care. It's Halloween week, motherfuckers.
That's right.
I'm all
I was
in.
also in a golf tournament yesterday. So I put plenty of miles on yesterday.
Nice. Good
What'd
for
you shoot? What'd you shoot?
Well, it was a scramble. So we parred
Oh,
almost every
scramble.
hole.
Hmm.
And we were,
Scrambles
we
are
were-
the best.
I think
By
we
the
were
way-
4 under. We should have been way more than that. It was very tough putting yesterday. It was wet greens.
We got to play golf one day.
Wait.
Absolutely.
I'll come. Can you guys teach me?
Yeah.
Can you
I've
teach
gone
me how to
driving.
Dougie?
You get really drunk and you hit a little white ball about 300.
I use
yards.
golf carts all day at my
You
job.
you
so
want to
I'm halfway
play the
there.
way the way we played yesterday. It's called a scramble. So everybody hits their ball, and then you can just go to the best one, and then everybody drops there.
It's the best way to play.
So
Oh.
it's funny because I haven't played in like a month and a half, so I was all like tight, and I was like the worst golfer in our foursome. And so I get up, and they're like, "Well, Jack, you go first. You take like the safe shot or whatever." But I was slow getting my stuff out, so they all went first and hit crappy shots, and then I get up and I drilled one down the middle, and they're all like, "What the hell was that?"
That's right. Show those
So,
jerks.
Right there, I was like, dropped it, and so I went downhill,
You.
up and down
See,
the hill. But the
You
great
have-
thing was,
I've had to
is
force them, and
it
you
was
reach around.
open. It was open bar the whole time, and they have like tents and stuff like that around the course. Litchfield is his bourbon company in Connecticut, and they had samples, and there was like 3 or 4 holes that were all strategically around it. So whenever we got near that, like I'd go up and get 2, and then somebody else would go up and get 2. They had like bourbon shots, and then they had these canned drinks that were delicious. So I got to
Oh,
track those
jeez.
down.
All right, you're recovering tonight then.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna have one pumpkin ale, and
By
This
the
could
way-
be the longest episode ever.
We
Yeah,
should
it is.
mention Janine Pipe, the Piper,
The Piper.
stayed up late. It's like 4:00 in the morning in the UK right now.
I
And
don't
she's
think
up
that's
drinking-
true.
She said she's
Rowdy
drinking hot
Pouty
milk,
Piper.
which is not, I think, the way to stay awake. If you're going to drink some warm milk, isn't that the shit you give people in 1897 to go to bed? But I don't know. I hope you last, Janine. So stick with us, and we'll comment on things you say.
Yeah. Glad you made it. I do have one thing. I finished my goddamn first draft of my book.
Yes.
It is
High
in the
five.
can.
High five.
So I got about maybe 2 weeks to do the second draft, and then we're moving. So
Nice.
it's coming, people.
Just in
That's
time
awesome,
to
man.
put in your stocking.
Took forever. It took
be-
forever.
You should be drinking to celebrate that shit, man.
I
That's
should
awesome.
be.
I
You're
know.
right.
Have some weak tea.
Suck. I'm
You
the
do.
worst.
All right. So, Jack, you got any news in that little manuscript you got there?
I got a couple 2-3 things. We'll
People
go quick.
keep walking on me.
What?
You're wearing a rug, motherfucker.
When's open mic night, dude? Okay.
10 foot tall joke, 5 foot tall guy.
Jesus.
Scarlett Johansson, or ScarJo as I call her.
Yes.
That's it. I just like her. No.
Okay.
Excellent.
He is going to produce and star in A24's Bride, which is a new take on Bride of Frankenstein. Bride of Frankenstein story. Wilson will star as a woman created to be an ideal wife, the singular obsession of a brilliant entrepreneur. When she rejects her creator, she's forced to flee her confined existence, confronting a world that sees her as a monster. It's on the run that she finds her true identity, her surprising power, and the strength to remake herself as her own creation.
That's a lot going on because The Bride of Frankenstein originally lasted about 5 minutes before the whole thing came down. By the way, Elsa Lanchester, for those who don't know, in the beginning of that movie, they have Mary Shelley Wollstonecraft talking with her two dudes. That's Elsa Lanchester playing Mary Shelley.
Shut the front door.
And my wife watched and she goes, wow, she's not attractive at all. I'm like, wow, women are so catty. It's terrible.
If
She's
she says
also
that about
in,
ScarJo, we're going to have words.
She's also in Willard.
Willard.
Yes.
I don't remember that.
The original Willard.
The original.
Elsa Lanchester's in that too. Coming from an old man. I remember when she was in Willard in 1972.
So this is not Dark Universe, because Dark Universe was talking about doing a Bride of Frankenstein with Angelina Jolie. But that is now.
Oh, she would look like a corpse, though. That works.
I got to be honest. The description of this did not do much for me, but I'll wait for the trailer to make my decision.
It's A24, so I've got my hopes up.
You had me at
Yeah,
ScarJo.
exactly. Yeah,
At least, if nothing else, it'll be screwed up.
I'm doubly in.
You ever see The Island with her and Ewan McGregor?
Terrible movie.
Yes, I like.
She was a clone in that. She looked good. So
I
One
went
of the
to
biggest pieces of shit I've ever seen in my life.
Please shut up. I went to the theater to see that. No, you have no credibility.
I remember watching that in the theater too. I was really
Whatsoever.
pissed off. But that was when I was working at a movie theater and I didn't
Yeah,
pay for it,
all
so
the-
I wasn't.
he liked The Island 2 better.
You have all the
Did they
credibility
make an
of Donald
Island
Trump
too?
Jr.
Mick Garris probably made it. And you liked it better.
It's a 7-part miniseries
accurate.
on
Love it.
CBS.com.
Wasn't that Michael Bay? Didn't he do that movie?
Yeah,
Michael
Michael
Bay.
Bay did that.
There was a
yeah.
lot of spinning cameras.
A lot of explosions for no reason.
Buscemi shows up
Damn.
for 5 minutes.
Weird. Like the color of the film was like
Yeah, it's all
really
orange
Weird. Yeah,
Yellow.
really weird
Hue.
choice.
It had a hue.
Hue. All right. Does anybody care?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in.
Y'all familiar with a guy named Tim Burton?
Heard of him?
Yeah.
Y'all
Batman
remember-
Returns.
He did some movie about a fish.
It's Tim Burton from Corpse Bride.
He got his entire aesthetic from early Frankenstein movies. I know that guy.
Mr. Burton.
Check it
may
out.
be re-
I'm serious.
Mr. Burton may be returning to live action with, the Addams Family may be returning to live action with Tim Burton, because Deadline is reporting that Tim Burton wants to executive produce and possibly direct a new live action Addams Family series to be set in present times and from the perspective of Wednesday Addams and what the world would look like to her in 2020.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah,
That's a
like-
great pairing. That's like champagne and doggy style right there.
Awesome.
I throw it to my friend Mike. That's his thing. Whenever somebody came up with something good, he goes, "It's like champagne and doggy style." It could be like a business meeting. Like, Jesus Christ.
Interesting choice.
Yeah, that's quite a combination.
I guess we know what he's doing on New Year's Eve.
I have to take your word on that one.
Exactly. Pop the cork and the condom.
Okay.
Did anybody see the recent Addams Family animated movie
No.
with Charlize Theron? And,
That's a negative.
There was one?
Yeah.
yeah. Charlize Theron did the Morticia. I think Oscar Isaac was Gomez.
I
But
believe
it was all animated.
Is it any
I
good?
watched the trailer and didn't feel like I could pull the trigger on it.
I think
Yeah.
Tim Burton, though. I mean, it's custom made for him.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Listen, Christina Ricci is the one who reinvented Wednesday Addams. So whoever is doing it, if she channels Christina Ricci, that's money.
Not the original Wednesday. Come on. Remember when we met her with my daughter, who was so excited to see her? It's a good
The
day.
original Uncle Fester from the, first of all, I like the TV show better than any of the movies.
Yes.
And the original Uncle Fester, was it Jackie Coogan? Or
Jackie Coogan. Yep.
he's the best.
He is.
Anyway, so we'll see. I don't know when that's supposed to be coming. Maybe there's
Who
going to
the
be a
fuck
sequel to
knows
the animated
anymore?
one next year.
Oh, good. A sequel
Oh,
to
yeah.
the movie no one saw. Well, Tina True
Speaking-
Edwards says it's wasn't horrible. So there we go. Glowing
Steve
review.
Barnard was a huge fan of it, as you can tell.
I'm sure.
Oh, that's because
So
Wednesday's best
many
friend.
Asian hookers.
Wednesday's best friend was a zombie clown hooker. Speaking of sequels, there's going to be a Hocus Pocus sequel, and the 3 original witches have all agreed to be part of it.
Heard about that.
What?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, they had been saying they're going to do a sequel, but they weren't sure if they were going to get the cast back. Now they are. Thank goodness, because a sequel without the original cast is essentially a reboot that
Yeah.
nobody cares about.
Does anyone care about seeing the original cast?
I do.
Yeah.
Got to be getting
Bette
up there,
Midler
right?
and Kathy Najimy qualify as zombies now instead of witches.
It'll be fun. They will have to do less makeup to make them.
I'm
look
sorry.
Like
We should get the chick who
Exactly.
played. Let's get the chick who played the Bride of Frankenstein. Then we'll be very happy about it.
Elsa Lanchester, let's dig her up.
Does Disney own Hocus Pocus?
Yes,
feels
it's
like a-
on Disney Plus.
I was going to say, this feels like it's going to be a Disney Plus movie.
Yeah, fuck
You
that
know-
movie then.
You guys know who wrote the screenplay for Hocus Pocus, right?
I do.
Mick Garris.
That's right.
Did he really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
Originally, it was supposed to be an actual like horror film, but when Disney, I guess, got
You
involved,
screwed up.
they took it over.
And his
I love
original
that movie.
script did all the witches get together in a giant ball and roll around and like eat things up.
Probably.
God, the critters.
He's going to do for Hocus Pocus what he did for Critters.
Can we make Rebecca De Mornay one of the witches?
Yes.
That would be okay with me.
Be fine with me.
All right, that's all I got for news. Let's get out of here.
Good.
Let's talk about some movies that we watched, please.
Please.
We have such sights to show you.
All right, who wants to go first? I'm gonna pick Freddie Sweater to take the reins here,
Of course.
because I know you got some good stuff.
No, he doesn't. That is such a lie.
I know you've got some brilliant cinema.
Jack, are you stroking out?
What?
What?
Jack's fine. What are you talking
Oh, you
about?
said Freddie Sweater? Is that what you said? I totally didn't hear you. I thought you said
Yeah.
shirt. Okay.
What
I
the
think
I'm
fuck?
stroking out.
He's
out, pal.
Coolio tonight.
I'm stroking out. I am totally out of it. Cool stuff. Let's see. What the fuck was the first one I watched?
Lutsky shit.
You know what?
Lutsky's Butsky.
We'll start with something that surprised me a little bit. I watched Final Destination, the original 2000 James Wong movie. I'm not going to lie. I always thought James Wan, W-A-N, directed this.
Hmm.
And when I was watching it, I was like, this kind of looks shitty for a James Wan film.
Yeah.
So then I looked it up. I'm like, oh, it is him. And then I like squinted. I'm like, oh shit, no, it's not. It's James Wong.
Wong. Long Duck
Yeah.
Wong.
Yes, the
What's hopping on hot stuff?
world famous James Wong, who did like 5 movies as a director, I think. Let's see. The One, Final Destination 3, and Dragon Ball Evolution. So it was a short run for Mr.
That's a
Wong.
big Christmas movie in my house.
Damn.
Dragon Ball Evolution.
Oh, we watch it every Christmas Eve.
I watch a New Year's Eve with some champagne and some you know what.
So I got to tell you, I remember this movie being significantly better than it was going back to it. Not that it was bad, but somehow my wife had never watched this. So saw it on our list. What's that?
I said somehow.
I would have thought I would have shown it to her, but I never did. And going back and watching it, it's fine. It's fine. It's not what you would expect to start a whole franchise, but it's such a brilliant idea of, evading death, and then it comes back around for you. And then it's just a great way to have inventive kills. Like, it's a genius start for a franchise. But I thought like the characters were really bad. They cast Stifler as the wuss who's getting picked on by basically a Stifler character. So that was just like a weird dynamic. And I don't know if it's because it was bad casting or just because I have Stifler in my brain every time I see Sean William
Flipping
Scott.
the script, man.
Maybe that's what they were going for. It was weird. They have my favorite character type, which is the bully who is an asshole for no reason and just you don't understand how he has a girlfriend or friends. That was one of the main characters. And just, the main dude really jumps to conclusions quickly about what death is and how to figure it out and like how to solve the problem. Like he just gets it. It's not just, wow, it's a weird coincidence. He's like, no, death is after us. It's using this seating chart on the airplane to kill us. I'm like,
he's tuned in.
Yeah. So it wasn't bad. It wasn't like I hated it or anything, but I think in my mind, because I probably hadn't seen it in 15 years, I had built it up as like more of a classic first movie in a series, and it's really not. It's fine.
I spilled beer on my crotch. James Wong, by the way, I whisk my beer away. He did a lot of X-Files and Millennium, and I remember there was like a because it's mostly like teens, but there's an older woman who was like a teacher or a coach or something was in it. I think she was in Millennium, and I thought I had the hots for her back in the day. That's what I remember from Final Destination and the plane thing, which I can't watch that again ever. It's just not going to happen.
The plane scene is still pretty intense, but it's got some CG in it that nowadays looks not great. But
it's the thing inside my head every time I sit in a seat in a plane.
My wife did not care for that all that much. She was pretty freaked out. She's not a great flyer either, but
yeah, I'm with her there.
Which movie had the logs? Was it the first one?
Second.
No.
It's all about the logs. Really big logs.
There's
all right.
A poop joke in there somewhere. I'm going to let you just fill it in there.
Yeah.
All right. Alien Butthole, do it up.
Alien Butthole. Okay. I watch the movie. I watch every Horror-tober. This is like a staple in my house. It's Motel Hell, which is a 1980 slasher horror comedy. By the way, it's a horror comedy that gets it right because the horror is horrific and the comedy is really kind of funny. It stars Rory Calhoun, who at the time was dying of cancer, but he plays Farmer Vincent, who has this little motel in the sticks, and he sells Farmer Vincent's meats. And for $2.99, you can get a sampler of beef jerky that is enough jerky to keep your family fed for like 4 years. The thing is, Farmer Vincent doesn't just use hogs, because he stands around outside at night and he kind of like fucks up people on the road and then takes them into his little garden in the back, buries them up to their necks, tears out their vocal cords, and fattens them up till it's time to put them in the meat. Meat's meat and man's got to eat. I freaking love this movie, man. I love this movie. He is aided and abetted by his sister, Ida, who is this Zoftic woman with pigtails often, which is really disturbing. And they know the secret to the sauce, and they're in charge of feeding these people and fattening them up and then chopping them up and putting them in the meat stuff. This movie is fucking bonkers, and I love this movie. My tagline It takes all kinds of critters to make Farmer Vincent's fritters. And there is almost nothing better in horror than that tagline. And if you're a Cheers fan, John Ratzenberger plays the drummer in this band. It's Ivan and the Terribles, and they're in their band van, and he's smoking weed. And of course, Farmer Vincent drives the van off the road and buries them up to their necks, and he's going to be one of the fritters.
Yeah, Normie.
Hey, you know the human umbilical cord is made of 90% potassium. This movie is it's awesome in every way whatsoever.
Great chainsaw fight.
The chainsaw fight where Farmer Vincent puts on a giant pig head to fight his brother, who is on the police force, is amazing. Look, if you're going to fight someone with a chainsaw, take the mask off. You're going to lose all peripheral vision. You're really at a disadvantage. So it may look cool, but don't do it. You want to fight. You want nothing on your head when you're fighting anybody. I'm going to tell you, anybody. Take it off your head.
That's just common sense, really.
Common sense. And look, little piece of advice from my old days. If you're going to fight somebody, the first thing you do while they're talking shit to you, punch them square in the nose, break the nose, fight's over. You can go home and relax.
I was going to say kick them in the nuts.
Nah, nuts is for girls. Break their fucking nose. They'll never forget that moment.
Okay.
None of the people whose noses I broke ever forgot the moment. They all left me alone afterwards.
I kissed them, and it just breaks the tension.
That would probably make them leave you alone too.
It might. Or it might piss them off more. Breaking the nose, like, oh shit, this guy's
break
kind
their
of crazy.
heart.
Make love, not war.
I need to go back and revisit Motel Hell. I have not
Motel
seen that.
Hell is great.
I was probably 15 when I last saw that.
I love it. I've seen it a few times now, and
I
it's
think
just,
I watched it last year.
just fun.
I figure I've seen it maybe 30 times at this point. This is a go-to.
I remember the first time I saw that. That was one of those video store ones, and we just watched it. We're like, oh, we found one.
When VHS came out, we were like, holy shit, Motel Hell. So it's amazing.
It's a gem. Coolio, Gangster's Paradise. What's up?
I went on Shudder.
Shudder.
And I watched a new movie called The Cleansing Hour. Which is
it's what Hunter does with his alien butthole.
Yeah, the bleaching hour.
That's what the director tells me I have to do.
So this movie is about a dude who does exorcisms. He has like an internet show called The Cleansing Hour, and he does like an hour-long exorcism like every week. And it's all about having a lot of followers and social media and all that. But really, it's all just a show. And they're kind of like these paranormal shows where they're faking it to make it.
Oh, like we do.
Then one night, an actual possession happens while they're on the air or while they're online. So many things happen after that, of course, like this woman with the eyes and the face. So this is kind of the kind of movie that you want from Shudder. It is not a legendary Motel Hell level movie, but it's not bad. It was a fun watch. It's kind of cheesy. It's very cheesy. But it'll keep you entertained for an hour and a half. It's exactly why you want Shudder. It's something new. You'll watch it. You may like it more than I did, but I don't think you're going to despise it or anything. You'll be like, oh, yay, I got a decent horror movie from Shudder. It's very, I don't know.
Horny?
That's not subtle at all.
Unsubtle?
Unsubtle.
Unsubtle. I get it.
Was it written by Hunter Shea? The king of
I'm
being
all
subtle?
about subtlety.
Yeah. So I would listen, if you have Shudder and you're looking for something to watch, this is definitely worth a look. But I don't think it's going to make anybody's like top 10 list at the end of the year. But it's a good watch.
Oh, fuck it then.
Shudder's doing a good job kind of replacing the VHS shelf for me. It's full of all these movies that, like, if I'd seen it at the theater, I might not have been super pleased. But when I bring it home for $1 on VHS, I'd be like, hey, that wasn't bad.
Exactly. Yeah. That's exactly what this is. And we need a category that says, I'm not dissing this movie, but I'm also not elevating this
I think
movie.
it's called Shudder Exclusive. It's just the category.
Shudder Exclusive. So, you know what? It's always cool to see stuff pop up on Shudder. and so this one was worth the click.
Nice.
Yeah, I want to definitely want to watch that one. I guess that makes it my turn.
Yes, David S. Pumpkins.
What did I watch? Oh, I watched the Taking of Deborah Logan last night.
That was one of the best surprises of the year when it came out.
It really was, and it's been a while since I've watched it. At least like 4 or 5 years, because it's been out. I think it came out in 2014.
Has it been that long?
Yeah, it has.
shit.
It doesn't feel that long, but
By the way, you have to watch live sometimes to see what we're laughing at.
Yeah, if you only listen, some of the comments in the live chat are always fun on
Yeah.
YouTube.
very
8,
entertaining.
8 p.m. Eastern every Tuesday.
And if you watch live, Jason might put your comments right on the live interface here.
And we won't repeat them, especially the one that was just shown right there. Yeah, so the Taking of Deborah Logan, my wife had never watched it, so we're looking for a good horror movie to put on last night. And huge fan of found footage movies. She is too. And this movie's just fantastic. You think it's about these people documenting a woman who has Alzheimer's, which we've done a whole episode on Alzheimer's when we reviewed what was the name of that movie? Help me out.
Wretched.
Was it called The Wretched?
That sounds right.
Something like the recent one from this year.
Relic?
Yeah,
was it Relic?
Relic. That's it.
Relic. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a freaking depressing double feature.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun that night.
Freaking.
So we already had that discussion, and so like that's like a big personal theme for me. So I definitely take a lot away from that. But I mean, this is like a really suspenseful. It's like one of those movies where you're never you can never be still. Like you're always like on edge. It's just throughout the entire film you don't know what's going to happen next. And I'd seen it before, and I was still pretty like just taken by it. So really good found footage movie. The only knock I have on it is they do like the Paranormal Activity found footage thing where they like plant the cameras up in the corner of the bedroom, and there's just like little scenes of that, but they do it way better than Paranormal Activity, and it's really effective. And
Whoa. Back there,
whoa.
son.
Hey,
Paranormal Activity is great.
fucking
Do you hate those movies? Of course.
yeah,
everyone.
I hate them. Yeah.
I wouldn't
on.
throw the word great around.
Again, you're
I love the first one.
I'm a crazy person, but yeah, I
I love
did
the
not
first
like
and third ones.
Jill Larson's performance in Taking of Deborah Logan in particular needs a shout out because she kills it in that movie.
Oh, totally. Yeah, she sells it. I mean, really, honestly, the movie like hinges on her performance, and she just fucking kills it. I mean, a lot of these found footage movies kind of do hinge on the performances of the actors, and but yeah, I can't recommend this movie if you've never seen it. It's better off you kind of know less about what actually happens, because just some of the things that happen in it are so surprising, and just a really intense movie. I love it.
Yeah, that's a good choice.
I need to go back to that. It's been a long time.
Yeah, it was fun. I actually really enjoyed it. I mean, there's movies you watch and the second or third time around are less enjoyable, and this one was definitely as enjoyable as the first time I watched it.
Nice.
Cool.
Definitely, if you're making like a top 10 found footage movie, this is.
Oh yeah,
That's in there.
100%. Yeah. Just and like Jason, like you said, it was just such a surprise too, because it had like I didn't hear anything about it. I think it just popped up on Netflix or something one day. I was like, I'll take a chance on it. It looks cool, and oh man, good stuff in there.
I think it was a Friday. I opened Netflix, Taking Deborah Logan. Okay, and then I watched it. I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah, we're like, what?
It's fun.
Great.
Fun movie. Definitely
Things that
recommend
don't
it.
happen on Netflix anymore.
Yeah.
Yes.
Remember the days.
I remember we got good movies from Netflix. I like that time.
Man. Sucks,
All right, my
but-
turn.
Yep.
Yeah.
You ready? Amityville 10. The Awakening.
Is this Bella Thorne?
This is Bella Thorne.
Yes.
Oh,
I want to say, Chad and I are skipping the remake. We're going to do that last. So we've skipped. That was, I guess, technically the 9th film. So now we're on to 10. Amityville: The Awakening. This is a Blumhouse picture starring Jennifer Jason Leigh. Yeah.
Jennifer Jason Leigh's in this?
Yep.
Yes, she is.
Bella Thorne, Thomas Mann appears in it. Cameron Monaghan, who is from Shameless. Who else? Jennifer Morrison shows up in this for a while. So it's got a hell of a cast. Like actors kept showing up. I'm like, how?
Probably the best cast of the entire series.
Oh yeah. And I was talking to Chad about this a little bit earlier. This movie, I don't think it's particularly good. I don't think it's particularly bad, but it's such a quantum leap forward for the series that I don't know. I want to make sure I don't like praise it as like some, masterpiece when it's like, I don't know. My brain is so fried. But it definitely, I shouldn't even say it's definitely not a masterpiece, but it's got a great idea. So it takes place basically in like our world, like our timeline, essentially, where the DeFeo murders have happened in the house on 112 Ocean. And the movie, the Amityville horror book and movie have been made. And now, like 2 years ago, whatever it would have been, Jennifer Jason Leigh is a mother whose son has been crippled and he's in a coma from an accident he was in. And she moves him and her two other daughters into the Amityville house. And what do you know? Weird stuff starts to happen around the son in particular. He starts getting brain activity again when it's been years. He starts moving his eyes and his head a little bit. And the daughter, Bella Thorne, starts to think maybe this has something to do with the house. So they literally watch the Amityville movie in this. They read the book. Like it's a cool idea.
Yeah.
And it's top 3 Amityville movies, which is saying nothing, by the way, but it's top 3. The problem is it just never felt like it had a punch to me. It didn't feel like it was a poorly made movie. It just felt like, I don't know, like I don't think the characters were particularly good. The actors were good, but the mother-daughter dynamic was awful. I thought Jennifer Jason Leigh had basically nothing to work with. But
did you see Hateful Eight?
Yeah,
Hateful Eight's great.
Jennifer Jason Leigh's unrecognizable in that.
Yeah. Meanwhile, this movie is all about sexualizing a 17-year-old Bella Thorne.
She was 20. I looked it up because I was like,
when it came out, maybe not when she shot it.
That's true. I don't know when it was shot.
She was a kid when they shot that movie.
So yes, I was going to say half this movie is made to show off Bella Thorne's body. She is running around in her underwear for an extended scene. She's wearing very tight clothing. There's a lot of midriff and back showing.
Yeah.
So if you're a Bella Thorne fan, you might enjoy this one. So don't
forget about the incest, Jason.
There is an incest moment. Just what the fuck is with this series and incest? There's a moment where you see Jennifer Jason Leigh standing in front of her son's bed naked, and you're like, wait, what? What's happening?
Meanwhile,
and then it kind of goes away. But I'm like,
not that he's going to perform.
That has nothing to do with the story. It just happens.
Yep.
That's fucking
unless I missed something, because I was like, what?
No, I feel the same way. I saw this movie too. I was like, what the fuck are we doing here?
That is so weird.
What did you think of the movie?
I agree. It's one of the better Amityville movies, but again, it's not saying much. It had a cool concept. It had a great cast that just it didn't deliver, right?
It felt like it didn't gel quite right.
Yeah, and the whole time I'm going, this is just trying to get like fucking sweaty guys to live in their parents' basement to just beat off to Bella Thorne. Seriously, that's what I thought about that movie when I saw it.
So here's my problem with what's going on right now.
And the director really will be commenting when we're done. By the way,
you're not selling me on this movie. But you had me with like how good Bella Thorne looks. Then you threw in, oh, well, wait, she was too young. So now I can't watch this movie and enjoy it. But yeah, so I can't watch this movie. Thank you.
What was that movie that you were talking about? The Hammer movie where the girl was like 16?
Like
that was To the Devil Adored Her. That was Natasha Kinski.
Exactly. Yeah. So this is in that category of movies that maybe should not be viewed.
You know anymore. Remember that Monster Kids podcast that won the Silver Bowl Award a few months ago on Joe Bob?
Yeah.
I listen to it every so often, and they're always talking about Universal and Hammer movies. And these two guys were talking recently, and they were both gushing about how much they love that movie. And I'm screaming at my like,
it's a hashtag.
Nobody's mentioning the 14-year-old full frontal.
Stop that.
I'm never watching this movie again.
We need to get woke like the final guys.
So I'm not watching this movie. It's off the
Nope. Off the
So-
list.
Anyway, look, if I was giving it like a rating out of 10, which I never do, it's like a 5 or 6, which is so far beyond. Like maybe a 6, if I'm being
That's
generous.
great for an Amityville movie.
For an Amityville
Six?
movie,
Wow.
this is so much better.
It's a 6 for an Amityville movie, but it's like a 4 for a regular.
For an
movie.
Amityville movie, it's like a 14.
It's the
out of 10.
Clockwork Orange of
God.
Amityville movies.
Don't say Clockwork. You get back into the time travel Amityville. stuff.
Clockwork. Oh God, yeah, no, we don't want to remember
A
that.
Clockwork Amityville.
I don't know what's happening right now, but it's I believe it's Alien Butthole's turn.
Yes, it is.
Oh,
Okay, I'm saving my alien butthole thing for last, but I watched because my wife had never seen Son of Frankenstein.
Nice.
So if you like young Frankenstein,
Yes.
it takes everything from Frankenstein, Bride, and Son of in there. The best part of this movie is a fucking comedy. You can try to sell it as a horror movie, but it ain't.
This might be my favorite Frankenstein out of the Frankenstein movies.
It's amazing. So it's about the son of Frankenstein, who is Basil Rathbone, who was Sherlock Holmes back in the day. He is Wolf von Frankenstein, which is a great name. So he's come back to the Frankenstein village, and he's going to try to like restore the family name, but of course he gets sucked into everything by Bela Lugosi, who plays Igor.
Really?
Watch this movie strictly for Bela Lugosi as Igor, who is a fucking amazing. He is a criminal who was hanged. His neck broke, but he didn't die. So he's been living in the sulfur pits with Frankenstein's monster for 25 years and getting the monster to kill anyone who pisses him off. But Frankenstein didn't fare well. In Bride of Frankenstein, he talks and he's more human than he's ever been. But I think everything that's happened to him, he's kind of dialed back in his intelligence a little bit. So, but he is wearing the furry vest, which I love the furry vest.
What the hell?
Furry vest is the best.
It's like he's wearing a dog.
It's like the Sonny and Cher outfit.
I would actually wear that.
That vest is fucking awesome.
Looks like me without a shirt on.
It looks comfortable, to be honest with you.
There is a scene in this where he's hanging out in the sulfur pits, and this is Karloff again as Frankenstein's monster. When he makes his first appearance, it's fucking terrifying. It's one of the best introductions of a monster in a movie of all time. And I don't know what bodysuit they put. He looks enormous in this movie. But of course, Son of Frankenstein's going to carry on Dad's legacy, and he's working with crazy ass Igor, who is the funniest character of all time. And the best part, and I know Jack, you love this, Lionel Atwill is in there as Inspector Crow.
That's what I was going to ask you about. Is
He's
this
the guy with the wooden arm. And when he plays darts, he sticks the darts in his wooden arm and throws them. And
Nice grouping.
we just fucking it was laughing and then marveling at the sets and Karloff's monster.
You have to watch this because if you've ever watched Young Frankenstein, you're just gonna there's just moments where like, oh my god, they took us right out of this.
Yeah, I mean, you can see, especially Bride and Son, it's where they took the comedic elements and he just ramped it up to 11. This movie is fucking fantastic. I love this movie. It's a great trilogy, and unlike Jason, it should have stopped at 3. In the trilogy.
Then you've got Ghost where
kidding.
Bela
I love
Lugosi
Ghost.
keeps going, right?
Well, we're watching Ghost after tonight's episode, so we're settling down for Ghost when we're done here. But she never saw Ghost either. But I highly suggest you watch Son of Frankenstein. Don't just stop at Frankenstein, because Frankenstein is a true horror movie. Bride of Frankenstein is a what the fuck movie, and then Son of Frankenstein is a
Just having fun with it.
Yeah, exactly. So, and it's not directed by James Whale, but the new director incorporated those bizarre sets. Like every ceiling is about 30 feet high and has weird angles and shadows and stuff. So, like I said earlier, if you want to see where Tim Burton got all his aesthetics from, it's Bride and Son of Frankenstein. It's all there. Like has zero originality. He just cribbed everything from these movies.
Yeah,
So
and Danny
check it out.
DeVito plays the Penguin and Ghost of Frankenstein.
Ah!
I've never
Hanging
seen
out
this
under a
movie.
bridge.
gonna have to check this one out. I've never watched it.
Yeah, I want to watch it too, based off of what you said. Sounds amazing.
You have to watch. It's like $3.99 and $3.99.
You got to go
on
from
Amazon, but it's worth
Frankenstein
it.
all the way to Frankenstein meets the Wolfman.
That's on the list too. So we got a lot of watching to do. By the way, my Horrortober record was 55 movies in Horrortober. I'm at 60 right now.
Damn.
We're powering through.
Damn.
And unlike
dude.
Tim, to me, a movie only counts when everything's set aside and all you do is watch the movie. No interruptions. So finding that time has been difficult, but it's been a shit ton of fun.
What did you say I should end with, Jack?
Frankenstein meets the Wolfman.
It's the Wolfman, yeah.
Because as I was saying before, you got Karloff is playing the monster for a while, and then at the end, Lugosi, who was playing Igor for a while, is now playing the monster.
Mm-hmm. Why not?
And then if you get into the House of Dracula and House of Frankenstein, actually it's probably House of Frankenstein and House of Dracula, it's Glenn Strange and what's his name? John Carradine as Dracula, and
yeah,
it gets all those movies are
to see Lugosi as Igor. The lines he gives are the funniest in all of Universal horror movies. The best performance of them all. Jason is choking to
Are you
death.
all right, buddy?
This
Are you
could be
okay?
the end.
He's stroking out.
We need to find a throat and a heart for Jason, and a brain, maybe.
You know it's bad when he muted himself.
What would Jason's body be like with a brain in it? Might be fucking terrifying.
It turns out my lungs don't like when I inhale coffee.
I've heard that about lungs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Shit.
that's
I wish I'd known that.
Stupid lungs.
All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Get your woman on the floor. Your turn.
All right.
Got to get up, get down. So, Timmy, baby, just for you, I went and watched The Sacrament.
Oh, did you?
So, I got to tell you, man, Ty West is the man.
He's the man.
I saw the Sacrament. I've seen like the Innkeepers and the Sacrament like once or twice, like, but not a whole lot. So, I know you were really rallying for this, and I was like, I haven't seen it in ages. So I was like, what the hell? I'm gonna go a little Ty West run. And speaking of the found footage movies, if I was making a list of best found footage movies, I've definitely put this in.
Mm-hmm.
And I appreciated the movie more now the second time I've seen it than the first time, because they do a lot of great stuff with camera work where if they fall down, it strategically falls down, but it doesn't feel like it was strategically put down. And it's a little less ham-handed than a lot of found footage movies. There's definitely are ham-handed found footage movies moments in this too, but they do some pretty cool stuff where like somebody falls down and then you're not sure if they're still behind the camera or not, and they happen to catch some things. And I forgot the whole thing about Vice reporters doing the story. I didn't know what Vice was the first time I saw this. Now I'm like, oh, this guy from HBO. So overall, I think I liked it better the second time I saw it. Really liked it. It's a very fast-paced movie, and it flew. It only takes place over like 2 days.
Yeah.
It's basically the Jim Jones story.
Yeah.
I had the same though, kind of like, if I was going to say anything negative about this movie, I would just say it's a little hokey because everything happens so quickly. Everything that happens to happen right when they walk in a room. And so it's got that whole kind of funhouse gag feel to it where, okay, we're going to run here and then this happens in front of us. So we run and we go the other way and then this happens. And so there's a tiny bit of hokiness to it that you get from found footage movies. However, some of the stuff that's happening is so horrific that hokiness wears off very quickly because it's like people are being murdered and drinking the Kool-Aid and all that. So overall, I have not, like I said, I saw this movie once, great rewatch, and it elevated what I thought of it. And I equated to you like this more than the Innkeepers, and I'm like, I like thin crust pizza and you like thicker pizza. We're both eating pizza. It's great. You know what I mean?
True. I do like thicker pizza.
They're both good. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna, and depending on your mood, sometimes you're going to be in mood for something faster, like The Sacrament, and other times you're going to be in mood for a slow burn, spooky thing. Like, Yin Keepers. But one thing's for certain is Ty West knows what the hell he's doing, man.
He
So
does, man. I still think House of the Devil is probably my favorite of his movies. But
that's going to be my next week movie.
why can't this guy do more movies? Because I was just looking at his IMDb page and like,
now.
yeah, he hasn't done anything. I think he did a movie in 2016 with like John Travolta in it. It was like a Western and Ethan Hawke was in it.
There's a lot of people who hate his guts for whatever.
Really?
Yes.
I wonder. There has to be some sort of story because, like, the fact that he's put out those three movies alone have, like, anybody would fund his movies. Like, I don't see.
I
him
wish
not
that
getting
movie
funded.
that they changed it because it just sticks to the Jim Jones script. So I wish they added like a twist to it.
Yeah,
I still love the movie. I own it on Blu-ray. So
Hunter, did you hear what I said though? Like, there's a little bit of hokiness in that.
yeah,
You kind of get the gags you're like, okay, here we. But they're so well executed.
oh, it's terrifying.
That
I could see you and I getting stuck in that situation.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, this is gonna make a great documentary. Oh fuck!
Come with me; it'll be fine.
I just remember like the last like 20 minutes of that movie. Just like my jaw was open the entire time. Like, what the fuck?
Exactly.
It just gets crazier and crazier. I loved it though. It's good. I haven't watched it in the longest time, so maybe I should go back. I saw it pop up on what was it, Prime? Did it pop up?
Really?
I think it's on. I did not pay. Woohoo!
Yeah, it either popped up on Prime or Netflix.
Might be Tubi. I don't know.
Oh, it might be Tubi because I've been finding
Tubby
Tubi's like
Top.
a treasure trove of like really like. There's so much horror movies. There's so many horror movies on Tubi right now.
And
The other thing of
sometimes
note-
you get one on Tubi, and you might not get a commercial until like it's almost over.
Yeah,
sometimes
I love
you get a
watching
lot. Sometimes you get almost none. So
Every once in a while, the commercial isn't bad because that's when you feel like, oh, I'll just check my phone real quick. Or I'll,
Yeah.
Tubi TV for me is great for 70s blaxploitation movies, which is one of my favorite genres of all time.
One other thing is the guy who plays the father is the dude who plays the gas station attendant in No Country for Old Men.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, call it friendo.
He was great.
And he's so different, and he's so great in this movie. So he if you want to watch something, that he does a lot with the limited screen time he has. So listen, man, 2 for 2 Ty West movies next week. House of the Devil. I'll be back here to tell you. I saw that again. I've seen that movie once. I liked it. I can't wait to revisit it. Halloween week. I saved that one for.
Wait,
Halloween.
House of the Devil you've only seen once?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Come back to
I've
us, Ty.
seen it every year since it came out.
It's good stuff. All right, I guess it's my turn. I watched
Lumpkin.
for the first time. I don't know how this one. Oh, I do know how it slipped under my radar. It's because COVID happened.
Because it was good.
It was good, and I couldn't get to a movie theater to watch it. I finally watched The Invisible Man, the 2020 version.
Oh,
Nice. I saw that in the theater and the drive-in all before COVID happened.
Yeah, it came out. I think it came out like right around the same time COVID was happening. Right, it came out earlier this year, February.
I think.
Yeah. So I missed it, unfortunately, because I feel like I enjoyed it watching it, but I feel like that's a movie that would have been awesome to watch in the movie theater because of how intense it is. But yeah, this was like a surprisingly like great movie. It stars Elizabeth Moss, who's hands down one of the best actresses working in Hollywood today.
Sure.
She kills it, and Lee Whannell. Sorry, apologies. He's fantastic, man. He wrote Saw, and did he write Dead Silent? He wrote a bunch of other movies that I really
Did Upgrade.
loved. Oh, Upgrade.
Great.
Upgrade, fantastic.
Insidious.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a pretty good record. Yeah, he did do Dead Silence, which is actually a really underrated
I think
movie.
he's Australian too, right?
Yeah. But man, I really enjoyed this. It's about a woman who escapes her husband, I'm not sure exactly.
Boyfriend.
Who's a boyfriend. Sounds like she was like almost imprisoned by him.
This is the Harvey Weinstein story.
She was definitely abused mentally and physically by him, and she runs away, and she finds out that he dies, and she ends up getting haunted by him, and the way they do the haunting with like what the twist that happens. I'm not going to say because if you haven't seen it, it's definitely a cool little twist. My mind was blown by it. I really enjoyed this film. It's super intense from start to finish, and I have nothing really bad to say about it at all. So
No, it was a shocking reinterpretation of The Invisible Man.
definitely check it out.
It's one of my favorite movies of the year.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mine too.
It was great. I think it was the last movie to do really well before COVID.
Yeah,
Yes,
I remember
blasted
it
the
was.
industry.
And this, like Hereditary, I did not want to see Hereditary based on the trailer. And same with this, I was like, this is going to be garbage. I'm not into it. So I went to the theater and saw it, and I walked out like, oh my God.
You don't take a breath in the first 10 minutes of this movie.
No, yeah, you do like it's like I didn't really know what the story was, and so I didn't really know what was happening, and I was like just on the edge of my seat the entire first act of the movie. It's so intense, and then it slows down a little bit, but then like there's only like a 5.
There's a moment in the middle
lull.
of this movie, though. There's a moment in this movie that's kind of like the Hereditary moment that you'll never forget. That big moment in the middle of the movie.
I was
Yeah.
just about to tell you. I completely forgot it. Now I remember.
In a restaurant without a
the
mask.
restaurant.
Yeah.
Yep, the restaurant scene. Yeah, I was like, holy shit! Like you do not see that coming at all. And yeah, oh my god, it's such a good movie. If you get a chance, it's on HBO. That's what I watched it on.
Nice.
Definitely watch it if you haven't seen it.
It's good
Yeah,
stuff.
I gotta watch that again.
Yeah, I need to revisit that. Maybe when we do our top 10 lists or top 13 or whatever the hell we do.
Yeah,
It's going to be on there for all of us, guaranteed.
All right, let
Guaranteed.
me pick up the pace here. We're gonna be going till freaking 10 o'clock.
I gotta go get a beer. So you guys
Wait,
continue.
you're gonna
talk.
miss
You
me
get a
talking
beer.
about Amityville 11.
I'm okay with it.
So you get a beer. I emptied a beer out.
Well, Amityville 11. I think I was gonna only have one beer, but I think I'm just gonna go get another one for that.
I'm
So
in,
this-
Jason.
This ties into a movie we covered just a couple of months ago on Final Guys.
What?
Yes. Does the name Daniel Ferrans ring any bells to you? He did a little movie called The Haunting of Sharon Tate.
Oh,
Jesus
God.
Christ.
Oh,
Apparently, I did not know it. His name flashed up, and I was like, "Why do I recognize that name?" And I looked up.
Roman,
Oh, God.
Roman.
So apparently, this is a thing with this dude. He takes real life tragedies and then makes movies about them that are just
Exploits
like,
the shit out
yeah.
of him.
We got to see the haunting of Nicole Brown Simpson.
Yeah. So he did the Amityville
Oh, yeah.
murders, followed by the Haunting of Sharon Tate, followed by the murder of Nicole Brown Simpson.
Oh, Jesus.
So this has become his thing. And it's crazy because this guy made two of my favorite documentaries about horror movies ever: Never Sleep Again and Crystal Lake Memories.
Oh, he made Crystal Lake Memories? I
He
didn't know
directed
that.
both of those. Yeah.
Holy
Wow.
shit. I love that.
Yeah. So the guy is an epic documentary filmmaker. And now he's doing these weird exploitative films. I don't understand how that transition happened, but
Because that's where the check was coming from.
I was going to say he's probably got, mortgage to pay like everybody else. But
Mhm.
so if you've seen The Haunting of Sharon Tate, you probably understand how this movie is going to play out. Although this is
Oh,
better
Jesus.
than The Haunting of Sharon Tate.
No
So you
Hillary
got a
Duff.
Ronnie DeFeo in here.
This is about the DeFeo murders.
You know what? And to me, that's the true mystery of Amityville. The haunting is bullshit, and we know.
It's
But
the
the
only,
DeFeo murders are fucking intriguing.
yeah, because he's never given the same story like twice about why he did what he
How do you
did.
shoot everyone in their bed with nobody getting up, hearing the shots,
Yeah, they suspect his sister was in on it.
with no drugs in their systems?
I was reading about it today. I think I heard that they did have drugs, but I don't know. I care so.
That's bullshit. I've
So-
read too much on this.
Well, yeah, I mean, you could totally be right. I'm only an expert on the shitty movies at this point. So this is the story of the DeFeos. Here's what's weird for me. At the beginning, they're making Ronnie DeFeo like you feel sorry for him because his dad's an asshole and he's beating the shit out of him. And I'm like, no, let's not
Well-
glamorize the guy who murdered everyone in his family. Like,
This is 2018. It's woke bullshit where, oh, don't worry. It's the sins of your father.
Does
is
Hil-
why
does
you're
Hillary
like
Duff
this.
show up and go, "Oh, Ronnie, Ronnie"?
By the way, you make fun of that. I watched Sharon Tate like videos and she nailed her cadence of talking. I don't know. I'm just gonna leave it at that.
so Burt Young
well,
shows
man.
up in this movie.
Hillary, you have my number. Call my agent.
I love me some Hillary.
Burt Young appears for like 3 minutes at the beginning of this, and
He's alive?
He looked very old.
Burt Ward?
Get the fuck out of here.
He was in it. Yep. Diane Franklin is in this for a little bit. It's
Oh my God.
But man, this is a rough one because I just don't like the way this guy does this with real life murders.
The Nicole Brown movie looks so skeevy.
Well, you've seen The Haunting of Sharon Tate. I mean, guessing it's more the same.
It looks skeevier than that.
Burt Young is still alive, by the way. I wish he still owned the restaurant by my house.
Burt Young
so I could
died.
come see him. No, he's 80. He used to own a restaurant like 10 blocks from my house. We used to go down there and go to eat and talk to him. He was a fucking character.
Does he crush the napkin holder like he did in Back to School?
He did not, but out of the famous people who own places by my house, him and Grandpa Al.
Oh, I never went there. You went there?
Yeah. I was like 17 or 16. He's like, he owned a comedy club by us, and it was like 21 and over. And he's out there with his cowboy boots and his cowboy hat and smoking a cigar. And he's like, what do you think you can get in here? Well, we were hoping. Give me your fucking money. Go in and get you 2 drinks and go home. I was like, thank you, Grandpa.
Wow.
What a story.
That's a better story than the story of this movie.
I'm
Grandpa
so
Al was
surprised. I'm
awesome.
glad you brought this up because Never Sleep Again and Crystal Lake Memories are both great.
Yes. They're
Yeah,
brilliant.
they're amazing.
I don't know what this niche he's carving out for himself is, but in this one they have Ronnie DeFeo and his sister down in the Red Room doing some kind of like seance thing
Incest?
where they're moving. I don't remember them going into
Doing
that.
the incest.
They're like moving a penny on a dish, and they basically conjure these spirits that then infect the house.
Well, that's how you do it.
Penny.
That's straight bullshit.
The old penny trick.
Yeah. Touch my dirty penny.
You know, I was feeling pretty good after the Blumhouse joint. You know, the Bella Thorne one. I was like, hey, we're trending in the right direction. And
I
then
like Chad again.
so I'm going to move on.
That's it? Not worthy?
Well, you seen The Haunting of Sharon Tate? It's the same thing, but with the DeFeo
Okay.
murders.
Okay.
I didn't feel good watching it.
Do they play an
Go-
actual song recorded by Ronnie DeFeo?
Go back and watch our episode about The Haunting of Sharon Tate then to catch up with this review, if you're curious.
Yeah, so I'm not going to give it any more time. We're already going late. So
All right.
We're going late. Let's just go late.
Yeah, I'm not going to help here because I'm going to talk a lot about this movie. So I am a big fan of drive-ins. I spent the whole year going to drive-ins. Now that COVID's fucked everything up. So I went to the Mahoning Drive-In in Pennsylvania, which the Mahoning Drive-In is featured in the documentary At the Drive-In.
Great documentary.
Great documentary. An amazing drive-in theater because they did just the day before I went, they did the original The Thing and the remake, Carpenter's remake, and I wasn't able to get there.
Oh.
So they were showing Fire in the Sky, the Travis Walton UFO abduction movie from 93. And Travis Walton was there. And the whole time I'm there,
Oh, wow.
Jason, I'm thinking of you for 2 reasons. A, I'm driving through Pennsylvania, and if you look at the signs on all the lawns, you know who's going to win the next presidential election.
Between the 50 when I was there last.
Between the signs and the gun stores, I was like, I feel like I'm fucking home. But then I went to a gas station to get gas, and I saw they had a 6-pack of Fireball whiskey. So I said to the woman, I said, "Oh, my kids will love that. I want to get that." So she says, "Can I see your ID?" And when I show her the ID, she sees I'm from New York and immediately looked like she wanted to shoot me in the face. And I felt like saying, "I'm with you, man. I'm with you. I'm not in the city." So
You hate minorities.
fuck you. So I married a minority. So you go to the movie. I get there early. It is 38 degrees and raining. And Travis Walton is there. He's almost 70 years old, and he's there to sign books or whatever he's selling, movies, books, posters, whatever. So I get online early, and I finally meet this guy because to me, if you're going to believe in alien abduction, this is the case because this is 7 guys all passed polygraph tests over multiple decades. All of the testing that this story was true, that, you know, after a day of logging, clearing brush, Travis, when they see a thing hanging in the sky, Travis Walton gets out of the truck. He gets blasted by a beam of light. The other guys run, fearing for their lives. When they come back, he's gone. They tell the authorities exactly what happened, saying, dude, there was a thing in the sky and it hit him and he's gone. And get charged for murder. But then Travis shows up 5 days later in a phone booth, naked. And then the legend begins. So I met
Travis did a great segment on this back in the day.
I met Travis, who looked like he was possibly there by gunpoint. I couldn't, but I don't blame him because it was freezing and he's sitting in this little tent and it's raining and it's miserable outside. And, he signed the book for me or whatever. And I watched the movie and then they did a Q&A afterwards. So seeing a clean 35 millimeter print of this movie was just fantastic because I've only ever seen it on video. So I thought that was thrilling. And then they did a Q&A with him afterwards. And one of the things I learned, he said that it was probably his fault. He should never have gotten out of the truck. And whatever electronic forces were keeping that ship afloat, when he stepped under it, he got hit by whatever was going on there. And he feels that the people aboard that ship were like EMS people. And they were like, oh, fuck, what did we just do to this dude? I think we killed him. So they bring him on board, and he has this whole experience on board the ship where he's meeting humans, not aliens, who restore him. And what I was shocked at was, here's an older man, and it's freezing outside. He has no mask on, and he will let anybody come up to him and shake his hand and take pictures with him and everything. And he explained later that ever since he was returned in 1975, he hasn't gotten sick. So the fucker's invincible. So I think AstraZeneca needs to go find these aliens or whoever they are to get the COVID cure.
Why don't we just get him and get his antibodies?
We should get his antibodies. I should have wrestled him to the ground.
Get those antibodies, you bastard.
Can you imagine the articles the next morning?
Oh,
crazed horror author tackles.
Well, here's the best part. At one point they go, the movie's over, and they say everybody just line up outside to ask him questions. And I'm just sitting in my car, just drilling beers and smoking a cigar with the windows closed. By the way, my car smells wonderful right now. And I'm like, I'm not getting out there. And I listened to the questions. And I'm like, all right, these people are noobs. Like, I heard somebody online going, you ever hear of Art Bell? If this is news to you, get the fuck out. You don't even belong here. So it was a great night. It's a really good movie. James Garner is in this movie.
Did you wear your tinfoil hat to this?
I did not. I think I wore my Motel Hell shirt when I was there. I think. But I had a great time. It was meeting Travis Walton was just like, check that off the bucket list. Jack, you and I are going to talk about him when we talk to Ryan Sprague on our show. It was a great night. It's, as far as alien movies go, it's the best made alien abduction movie of all time. If you're going to bring James Garner in, you're not pulling any punches, because it's more about the aftermath and what happens to the guys afterward who are trying to tell what they feel is the truth. So I highly suggest
Bella Thorne, see if she could pull it off.
There are no Bella Thornes in this movie, unfortunately. But the book is excellent too, because it's a new edition, and Travis Walton wrote the book, and this dude is smart. I mean, even talking to him, I was like, this fucker he's not some country bumpkin. He's a smart dude. So watch the movie, read the book, because I'm enjoying the book right now.
When I was really into UFO stuff a while ago, this was one of my favorite cases because I just found it interesting how long these guys have maintained their stories.
You got everybody. It was heavily investigated. Even the initial sheriff who they brought everything to, had seen a UFO not long before that one happened. And they've never been able to tell any of these guys they were lying. So there's no case in history that has that much evidence backing it up. And I thought it was fascinating. It was a great night. And I was alone. I loved it. I need to do more things alone.
Nice.
Who's up? Me?
I think it's you there with the snazzy jacket.
Well,
he wasn't
because I'm an excellent horror podcaster. I took the initiative and watched The Haunting of Bly Manor.
Ooh, I like it. I like it.
You finished? I haven't even started.
I finished it. So there's a lot to like, and there's a few problems I had with it. It is very well written. It is very well directed. It is very well acted, and I think you're all going to enjoy it. However, it's not as scary or as, to me, as good as Haunting of Hill House.
It's a high hurdle to clear.
It is a high hurdle, and I think it's going to lose not a lot of people, but some people are going to get bored with it.
I hear that. I'm 5 episodes in, and there have been like 2 moments where I was like, "Ooh!" Like it was the
Episode 6
fifth
is always
episode
the
when
best.
I was finally
I
like,
think
"Oh,
episode
Have you ever
5 is-
noticed 10 episode series? 6 is always the best.
5 in this one is like a big episode.
Okay.
This actually, the last few episodes take some turns. I enjoyed it overall, but it is definitely less on the horror side, more of kind of like a gothic ghost story with some romance in it. And I felt like I was watching a play or theater more than I was watching a miniseries or a
Fancy.
movie.
Did you wear a dinner jacket?
I did, and I had one of those little binocular things. And I also
Let me put my monocle in.
I shot Abe Lincoln during episode 5. Hasta la vista, Abe. So the 2 little kids in it are spectacular, very good actors, and the whole cast is great. But there were definitely times where I felt like I was watching actors act in a production. Really? I also am horrible at spotting the ghosts in the background on these things. I like go back and watch videos afterwards and like, oh, and remember with this ghost? And did you see this? And I'm like, nope.
Your cataracts get in the way?
Yeah, I think so. I think I see the ghost, and I'm like, no, the ghost is moving too
Just a floater.
uniformly with the way my head moves. Now I can't see the right side. Now I can't see the left side. But overall, I liked it a lot. But just like kind of forget about Haunting of Hill House when you go into this and take it for what it is. I think all of you guys are going to like it. But Jason, you said you're halfway through it.
Yep.
Yeah, and I gotta say, I was not dying to get back to the next episode.
Yep. I took a week off from 3 to 4.
Wow.
And it wasn't bad. It's like you said. I'm like, yeah, I could watch something else, and then maybe I'll get to it later.
Yeah, that's it. By the end, you're like, okay, that was pretty good. So it's worth a watch, but it's not like drop everything and watch it right now.
Yep.
Hey, Jadine, it's 1:00 in the morning, but you don't start watching it tonight.
I agree. I liked Hill House a lot better. Hill House was more scary. This wasn't really that scary at all. It was more of just like a gothic romantic story.
Oh, I'm so excited right now.
Tim, did you agree with me about the watching actors? Like I just felt like it was a play.
Yeah, it did have that kind of feel to it. It's totally different than Hill House. Like I feel like Hill House was more for like horror people, and this was not. This was more of like I said, it's just like goth. Like there's very little scary stuff going on. There's a little bit going on with the boyfriend. If you've watched like the first couple episodes, you'll know what I'm talking about. But yeah, like it wasn't scary at all. But the acting was great in it though. Like all the actors did a phenomenal job bringing it to life. But yeah, I mean it's worth watching, and I just like you guys said, it's not.
Was
no
it for
rush.
fart sniffing critics and Tim Meyer?
Yeah, exactly.
It does have a tearjerker ending. Like
yeah, it's sad. It's very sad. Yeah, but it's not bad. It's worth watching.
All right.
Since we're running out of time, I'll just do this thing real quick. I read The Immaculate Void by Brian Hodge.
That's the title of Jason's head.
That is uncalled for.
Wow, that's a low blow.
Come on, Hunter, we could do better than that.
I'm sorry. It's Jackson.
Anyway,
it's more like it.
Really great book. I've actually never read anything by Brian Hodge before. This is the first thing I've ever read, and
I've honestly never heard of Brian Hodge before. So giddy up.
Really good. I know Hunter's heard of him.
Yeah.
He's a pretty well known horror writer if you're into horror, but This is
Hodgepodge Lodge.
this has a little bit of everything in it. It's got serial killers, cults, cosmic horror. It's got everything. And I really loved it. And I was lucky enough to get a signed copy.
Oh, lucky you.
Yeah, he sent it to me.
Thanks for
So
the rusty trombone, Tim.
Yeah.
Signed, Brian.
I'll read the inscription. It says, "The director who's optioned this promises no holding back on the axe scene. Bet you can't wait." So
Thanks
it's
for
gonna be a
reading that.
movie. It's gonna
You
be a
say, "What-
movie.
Let me go
Apparently,
to Vegas for the odds on that bet, fucker. No, I'm kidding.
but yeah, I don't know. It's enjoyable if you like cosmic horror and like a little bit of everything kind of smushed together. It's good.
Cool.
If they made a movie of that, do you think it'd be a good Bella Thorne vehicle?
No, actually, maybe.
Well, then we're not
probably.
going to watch it.
She could be in anything. let's be
Thorne
honest.
or Hillary Duff.
Hillary
If they can be in it, we're in it.
Mira Sorvino?
Mr. Feet.
Vita.
Christ.
She's still around. She's
Like
still
her-
decent?
She should not have anything after Day of the Dead. So
Oh yeah, that was so.
I think
bad.
she's in the Nicole
Done.
Brown Simpson movie.
That might honestly be the worst movie I've ever seen.
that's a rough one.
That's rough to watch.
There's a Bulgarian Dead movie that's really terrible too. Day of the Dead.
I haven't
Dude,
seen the remakes yet.
I remember watching that and I just like, how broke was Bing Rames that he had to do that movie?
Everyone needs money. Everyone's got to pay bills.
Like holy shit, that movie
I
was
think she
really
plays.
bad.
I think she plays Nicole Simpson in the murder.
By the way, Hollywood, we would play any of these characters in any of these movies at any time and option any of our books. So
Yeah,
That's
come
correct.
right over.
that
I
is
would like to
accurate.
play Ving Rhames in the movie about his life.
Dude, when I see
Perfect
you, I
casting.
always think Ving Rhames.
Yeah,
With that
for sure.
band-aid you have in the back of your head all the time,
I want to call the movie Lord of the Vings.
that's pride fucking with you.
Who's next? This is
I'll throw
Running.
one quick.
You have
out.
one more?
I
Come on!
I rewatched the Suspiria remake,
Oh,
and it is. I felt exactly the same way watching it this time as I did the last time. I
Which was?
really like it. It's a little long. The way they shot the ending really bugs me because the ending is so cool with the exploding heads and all the grisly stuff, and it's got this filter on it, and you can't see like half the good stuff. It bothers
so
me.
weird.
The end- but it's still really good. Like I really like this movie. I love the way it's shot. It's this weird artistic horror film, and I like it.
I need
I
to
have-
watch it again.
I have a proposition. Why don't we do an episode where the four of us reenact the dancing?
That would be
I'm-
lovely.
I'll fucking do it.
I'll do it in a second. I'll do it right now.
I know
Please
you
do.
will.
I did it before we came on. I do it every morning on the beach. I see in the Suspiria did. So
I actually watched this recently, but like I wasn't paying full attention. I kind of had it on in the background, and I feel like it's one of those movies that I need to absorb. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
so I need to watch it again. But dude, there's like a scene in there. I was like, my jaw was dropping. I think it was like the first kill when like
Mhm.
she's like arching back and like
Yeah.
all of her shit's breaking. Like I don't know how they did that, but it looked phenomenal.
I
Yep,
do like the
for
remake
sure.
better than the original.
Yeah,
Me too.
I kind of did too, and I didn't I didn't even fully absorb it. I think the original is stylish, but as far as like story, it's
Italian.
Next.
it talks with its hands.
We've talked about this before.
Yeah.
Italian movies and story, it's just not there, but stylish for sure, and one of the best like soundtracks
Yeah.
ever.
Yep. All right, I'm done.
All right,
All right. I'm going
Main
to the ladies'
feature.
room. See y'all
finally,
later.
finally,
Main feature, is that what you said? I didn't hear you.
yeah, main feature. Roll tape.
You like scary movies?
Uh-huh.
What's your favorite scary movie?
I don't know.
You have to have a favorite. What comes to mind?
All right, so we are going to be talking about the Mortuary Collection. So, Jack, do you want to hit us with some synopsises?
I sure would like to hit you with some synopsi. So this is a collection of stories from a mortuary. So the bodies are the subjects of the stories. And they're all told by a very familiar mortician who looks a lot like the mean prison guard from the Shawshank Redemption if he had a baby with the tall man from, you know what I'm talking about.
Phantasm.
Phantasm.
Yeah.
It's the Kurgan.
The Kurgan.
Kurgan.
A cloud.
And each vignette has that kind of like lesson to it of you reap what you sow, you that kind of thing. And he's telling it to a woman who has just gotten a job at the mortuary. And the stories are to varying degrees spooky and crazy and nutty. And it is a collection on a mortuary.
That's a great description, man. Thank you for sharing that.
Thanks.
What did you think of it? Let's start with you.
I'm going to say that I am not the biggest anthology fan.
Ooh.
There's like Trick or Treat, and then there's like everything else. I thought this was okay. I thought it was very well made, looked good. Good performances. I like some of the stories better than some of the other stories. The first story is really short, which I liked. I thought one of the other stories went a little long. I thought the movie could have been 10 minutes shorter. Knock 10 minutes off because I felt it was dragging. But having said that, I thought it was okay. It was a good Shudder watch, like we were saying before. I probably won't revisit it ever again, but I thought there were some really great parts in it. I also think that my opinion doesn't matter because there's going to be people who love this movie, and I don't want to get in their way. But for me, anthology movies, they're so uneven, but I liked a lot of what was happening, but it didn't win me over like Trick or Treat that I'll watch every year. So very good movie, but not like a staple for me.
Freddie Sweater, what did you think of this film? I'm interested to
What
get
were
your
you looking at, Tim?
Yeah.
Is there something going on in your room?
Yeah, he said Trick or Treat, and I was like, "Fuck, I really want to watch that movie this year." And I
Wanna
was
come to
like,
my house?
Do I own it?"
Come to my house. Watch it with me,
All right, I'll be right there.
dude.
So I am the opposite of Jack. I really like anthologies, even though, like, 50% of the episodes in it, or whatever you want to call them, the segments are typically not good. I just always like getting little vignettes of horror stuff. To me, it's like a horror short story, basically. And I love shorts, so I like them in horror form too. I really liked this. Like, this is one of my favorite anthologies. Now, I don't know how much that's saying because, most anthologies aren't that great, but
Right.
this is up there to me. I'm just trying to throw stuff off the top of my head. Trick or Treat, of course. Creepshow, of course. But then I really like Southbound and movies like that. And I feel like this is right up there with like Southbound. I just thought the quality of the segments was extremely even because one guy wrote and directed everything. So I felt like it just flowed nicely, maybe a little long, but I thought the movie looked incredible too. I don't know what the budget could have been for this.
I actually did some research on this, and I stumbled upon their Kickstarter page because they actually kickstarted this movie.
Get the hell out of here.
Wow.
For $60,000. Now,
What?
I read, yeah, it looks phenomenal for $60,000.
That's unbelievable.
But I did read, I read like the, like what they were actually doing. So apparently they had gotten enough movie for the entire budget, whatever that was. Like, I guess they hired their director, they hired all the actors, they secured all the set locations, they got everything ready. They just needed extra money for like the special effects stuff. So that's really what they were kickstarting, and they only wanted $50,000, and they raised $60,000. And if I'm remembering correctly from the Kickstarter page, it was only for one segment that they needed the special effects for. Wow. So, but still, like, I mean, $60,000 is a lot of money to a lot of people, but in the movie business, that's not a lot. Yeah,
That'll pay for the man, his water breaking.
Exactly. And like, that's the crazy thing too, not to, take over, but like, it looked really good. Like the stuff looked, everything, practical effects, digital stuff, CGI, it all looked good. So but yeah, I mean, go ahead, continue. I'm sorry.
No, I don't. So I wonder what the whole budget actually was then. If they needed an extra 60,
yeah,
I'm guessing it couldn't have been much. But god damn, it looks phenomenal. So whoever shot this and did all the lighting, everything, I mean, just really good job. So I like anthologies, and I really, really like this.
Hunter Shea, aka Alien Butthole.
Well, I look forward to anthologies as much as I look forward to hot waxing my butthole.
So you love them.
So I was not thrilled with this pick. I watched this under duress. Somebody held a shotgun to my head.
Nobody
From
did
the
that.
Opening scene, I was in. There's a quality to this movie. I was like, oh wow, could this be like the new Trick or Treat? When Clancy Brown shows up looking fucking terrifying as
He's
the
great.
mortician,
Fucking love
like,
Clancy Brown.
I was like, oh my god. All right. It's fully settled in. I have to tell you, I loved 3/4 of this movie. I think the last segment lost me. But up until then, I thought this was like one of the better anthologies I've seen. If they had managed to nail that last story, that would be right there with Trick or Treat for me, because it had a wry sense of humor about it. There was some good quality. I thought the stories were really fun and funny.
Mm-hmm.
So look, I think if you're going to look for an anthology, this is actually one of the better ones out there. I wish it stuck the landing because the promise was so high right from the get-go. But hey, dude, it's Clancy Brown. Like Helen Mirren, he is at the point in his career where he doesn't have to do shitty movies.
Dude, I looked at his IMDb for this.
So much voiceover work.
He's done like 320 some projects or something like that.
Crazy.
His voice is incredible alone.
He's one of the great bad guys of all time.
Did not realize that he did the crab from SpongeBob. He's the crab guy.
I did not know that.
What?
Yeah, crazy, right?
I did not know that.
I did not know that either until today. I saw it.
God damn it. He's crabs?
He's crabs.
One of my favorite movies of all time is Shoot to Kill, which is an 80s cop movie with Tom Berenger and Sidney Poitier.
Yes.
And he is the murderer in that movie. And
Dude.
he is perfectly cast.
Highlander. It's better to burn out than
Highlander.
freeway.
Yeah.
Come on.
That church scene is phenomenal.
Pet Cemetery 2. I mean, this guy's
he has one of my favorite small, because he's also done a lot of like TV series, like really small bit roles. I'm a huge, I know you guys are going to make fun of me for this, but like,
Come on, us.
I'm a huge Lost fan. Like, I think that's like one of the best television shows ever made. But he has like a small bit on that where he plays arguably one of the most important characters in that show. He's only in it for like 2 episodes, and
I don't even remember him being in it.
He's the guy who actually ended up crashing the plane that brought them there.
Oh,
and
there's
so
a gravitas to that dude that it's unmatched.
Oh, and he's so phenomenal in it. He plays so like I just his whole career is phenomenal. Like he's a guy that doesn't get a lot of respect because he's just been in like a lot of shit, but he's never like starred really in much. And like I'm glad that he got to like kind of carry the torch for this movie, and we get to kind of see his full range on display because he does a phenomenal job as
he elevates the material.
Oh, totally. Yeah, he definitely carries that whole the whole wraparound story is one of the things that makes this movie. And yeah, I also really like this movie too. I thought it was really good. I thought all the segments, I didn't love them all, but even the ones I didn't really care for, they still had positive things about them, and they still kind of won me over in the end. So yeah, I don't know. I really enjoyed this, and I am a huge fan of anthologies, like Jason is. So this is definitely one of the better ones out there for sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
I agree. Which was a shock. I sat down going, "Oh fuck, I hate these dudes." I had to watch. What was that movie we watched last week?
Scare Me. Oh, what is
Scare
way
Me.
better?
Oh yeah,
This was Scare Me, but instead of just 2 jerks talking, this was a reenactment of what they were talking about.
So yeah, last week I said that there was like some similar comparisons to Scare Me, and there's that. There's also the first segment. I don't know. Should we just get into spoilers now since we're?
Yeah, do it.
All right.
Ring the
So,
bell.
like, the first segment, which is like a really the shortest segment out of all 3 or 4 of them, has like very little story to it, but visually it's cool to watch. And so like I thought it was funny how like they actually made fun of how it had no story.
Yeah, like they call attention to the shortcomings of it, which I thought was kind of cool.
Which I thought was a cool aspect of Scare Me, and how they did that in that movie, where like they were kind of making fun of the whole thing. And so I enjoyed that aspect of it. And then the stories obviously got better. The second story is my favorite, the pregnant dude story.
That's my favorite one too.
Dude, when I was watching that, I was laughing out loud. Like, it was so funny.
Yeah,
as someone who started his own fraternity to be the anti-fraternity, first of all, there is nobody in a frat house who has that room that big by himself. I'm going to say that doesn't exist in any fraternity. I don't care how good looking you are and how big a cocksmith you are. You don't get
muffin.
A dude was definitely an Adonis. That was some good casting.
Yeah, Jack. Now the woman, the girl that he, has coitus with.
Yes,
and lots of it.
She had kind of an Anna Paquin vibe going.
She did, right? Weren't you I was like, oh, trick or treat, this would be Anna Paquin. She has a considerable sized chest for a small girl.
She's healthy, I'll say that.
Very healthy. She's corn fed.
She was actually really well cast because she had like this innocent thing going, and then all of a sudden,
she's no full figured African American girl. But great, just the way she is.
Yeah, I actually looked them up. I was like, either she's really small or he's really huge. And I think she was, if I recall, she was 5'7". He was like 6'4", 6'5". So he's just a giant.
5'7"?
Yeah, I think it's just that he was a fucking giant.
She looked like Hank the Angry Dwarf next to him.
That's what I thought.
Jesus.
Yeah, I thought she was gonna be like 5 feet tall.
I gotta say that segment made the movie for me because I loved it. Like if I go back and watch
thing.
The what?
When he takes it from behind? Is that?
Oh, that whole scene is hilarious. But then they go kind of like Evil Dead 2 on you after that.
When they raise him up on that throne and his water breaks on top of them and he bukkakis all of them.
I was fucking dying when that happened. Like, I was laughing so hard. Oh man, that was fucking fun.
By the way, for those of you, they don't show any of her bits, but they show his very engorged penis for a moment
explode.
Yeah,
it explodes.
That was horrible.
Where's it coming out?
Love it. I thought it was brilliant. That whole segment I thought was fucking brilliant.
Yeah. So you got the first segment's really short and sweet. They make fun of it.
Yeah.
Then you have this one, which the tone was perfect because it was like really funny. It was gory, and it kind of set the tone for the creepy special effects. They're like, okay, it's going to be this kind of movie. I think where I started to have a problem with the movie a little bit was the next story about the guy who was a caregiver. There was a lot to like in that story, but I thought it was a little slow.
It was,
and a little long.
Segment killed me as a caregiver for an ill woman. And destroyed me.
And you went from like this really funny, yet the message of the frat house guy one. I thought it was a very well delivered message in the story. Then the tone just went so down on that next one that I just felt like, it's kind of cool and it's got a Del Toro look to it. It's cool, but it kind of killed the buzz for me a little bit.
I will tell you. I'm watching this with my wife and Jack. You know what we've been through. So I've been in with her at times when they told us she was going to die. I've been with her when she's been on life support and a vegetable almost. So as we're watching this together, she turns to me. She goes, "Is this difficult for you to watch right now?" I'm like, "No, because it's funny."
You're like, "No, I'm taking notes."
It's like because I wanted to fucking kill you many times during this whole process. So I think it's fine. And then, like, as he starts doing things like sawing off her legs, she goes, "Would you have done that to me?" I'm like, "No, I would not have sawed off your legs and stick you in a trunk, throw you in the fucking sea." But I could see where that whole thing would bring you down, or it would be like this is where like the curve starts to go down for you. But for us, We freaking loved it. And whoever wrote the person who wrote this must have some experience with this because it was so raw and so real that I think people tend to gloss over shit like this. And whenever they come out the other end, they're like, oh, we all loved each other the entire time. And I was always there for her. And no, fuck that. There were times where you just fucking you both wish you'd die, die in your sleep. So, I mean, that's the truth. So I actually really enjoyed that segment immensely.
I thought it was good.
I thought it was okay. I thought it was.
I hope you never have to go through this. By the way, so this is just speaking from one guy who's lived through this. So I pray you never. Have to
I agree with almost everything you said. For me, it was a buzzkill.
Yeah.
And so I was kind of watching it, and I'm going, "Oh yes, this is poignant," and oh, that's kind of fun special effects with the gore and stuff. But it just coming off the high of the last one. And it just kept going. So like I liked it, but just it
was funnier for us because we'd been through it and we could laugh at it.
Yeah.
But if you haven't been through it, it's like, what the fuck? That's terrible.
Yeah, dark.
Yeah.
And then there's the last segment, which kind of ties into the wraparound, which I thought was fun. I actually liked that one. That was probably my second favorite one, the end one.
Are you talking about the Tooth Fairy Killer?
Yeah.
I really like that.
Yeah, I thought that was cool, and I thought it had a good twist. I didn't see it coming.
That was my second favorite one. That's why I'm curious, Hunter. You don't like this one?
I was checking out on that one.
Yeah,
that one I was like,
well, you see, if you haven't gone through it before, then you won't appreciate it.
That's the thing. I hadn't been through a Tooth Fairy Killer, so I didn't.
If you haven't put a kid in the oven, then you don't get it.
But this is. I think, I don't know. There was just a fun tongue-in-cheek shit going on all along, and this one didn't do it. I don't know. I think I was so excited from the beginning going, oh, trick or treat, the next trick or treat, and then it didn't stick the landing for me.
Oh, see, it totally stuck the landing for me. I didn't see the twist coming. The dude's fingers going in the grinder.
Oh, the grinder was such a good scene.
The head smash with the TV. I was like, oh, that was amazing. And then the kid in the oven at the end. I'm like, Jesus Christ, this turned it up to 11. So yeah, I really liked it.
I can't believe they actually went there.
Good for them.
But yeah, good for them. Good.
And they did the babysitter murders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a movie based on that.
And I like that it tied into the wraparound story directly.
Exactly.
So that's it. So again, I'm nitpicking here. I enjoyed the thing. But I think you could have knocked 10 minutes off of this and maybe perked up that downer one a little bit. And I would have given it more. Like I don't think it's in the same ballpark as Trick or Treat.
No,
but I think it's a very good
top 5 anthologies for me though.
It's not super long either, which is kind of crazy. It's only an hour and
112 minutes.
Yeah, it's not like
short of 2 hours.
I mean, anything over 2 hours is arguably long nowadays.
Anything over an hour and a half is really overstepping your grounds there.
I think an hour and a half would have been perfect for this movie.
I mean, I think they could have trimmed some stuff in the last segment and maybe that middle segment. Actually, they probably could have trimmed stuff in the first segment. I just love that. The second segment, I mean.
Oh, I was going to say the first.
Well, even the wraparound
fiction.
They could have tied. I mean, yeah, they probably could have cut 15 minutes out of it, and it would have been all right. But I mean, still, an hour and 48 minutes isn't.
No, it's not the worst.
Crazy long.
By the way, I want to go to a wake where Clancy Brown is giving the fucking eulogy.
Yes,
that was amazing. I'm like, where has that been in all the wakes I've been to?
Dude, also, if I ever get to make a movie, I'm hiring Clancy. I'm spending my entire budget just to get Clancy Brown in it.
If you were a little kid and he came to the door, how terrified would you be?
I would shit myself if I went to his door now.
I'd leave my camera behind for sure. By the way, was that little kid a reporter at the end?
No, I don't know what the hell.
He's there with his little notebook taking notes from the girl who's taking over. I'm like, is he a fucking reporter? What kind of paper is this?
He was delivering papers.
But he's like taking notes.
I don't know.
It was weird.
All I know is he didn't make it out of there alive. That's all I know.
I think he did.
When he exploded. Or you mean the kid? The
The
kid?
kid, yeah.
Yeah, so I did have a question about that. Is she allowed to keep killing people even though she's stuck in the house? Or does she have to like behave? Because it seemed like a punishment.
It
So
seemed like, yeah, that is a good question. I wish they did explain that a little bit more, but it seemed like she was going to kill that kid.
that's what they were intimating. But I thought the whole point was this was a punishment for everything she had done.
That kid went on to like partner with Indiana Jones, so he lived.
No time for love, Dr. Jones.
He was fine. I love how all the stories were like throwbacks.
Yeah, totally.
Different eras. I thought that was cool too.
Yeah, for a movie that I assumed had no budget, I was shocked that they were doing like a period piece because that costs more time and effort and money.
It sure do.
What did you think of the special effects of the babies at the end?
It looked good. I thought it looked good.
Yeah, surprisingly good.
Yeah, I was a little worried, but
it's a little hokey. I've seen some people comment like that's where they felt like the budget was showing, but I thought it fit the mood of it because I thought the movie was kind of cartoony.
Yeah,
I could handle it.
Yeah, the only time I ever thought something looked not even bad but not great was at the end. Clancy Brown was clearly in front of a green screen for a couple shots.
Yeah, and then when he like fell apart or whatever, I that didn't look great, but I mean, it didn't look bad either. Yeah,
have fun.
Yeah,
it's a comic book. It's a comic book come to life.
Yeah,
I thought. Again, I don't know what the budget was, but it just felt like they managed to stretch that into a miracle because I thought the movie looked great.
I thought it looked great too, and I've been binge watching Tales from the Crypt, and it kind of like reminded me a lot of the stories that were in that. So I mean, I loved it. It could have been 3 or 4 episodes of Tales from the Crypt.
I also think this would be a good one that if you were having people over for a Halloween party, you could show it to normies.
Yeah.
Except for the dick exploding scene, maybe.
Actually, I think the dick exploding scene would be a hit.
Yeah,
that would be oh my god, what the hell is this movie?
A dick, not boobs. Thank God.
Are there a lot of boob exploding films?
Just a lot of boob exposure. So I appreciated seeing a dick on screen. I thought that was awesome.
I do too, actually. I think there should be more dicks on screen.
There should be more dicks, taints, and men buttholes.
That's why I don't take your reviews very to heart.
I'm trying to be equal opportunity.
Yeah.
I'm growing as a person.
Listen, it's okay. There's nothing wrong with seeing a dick.
I'm going to put this with like Creep Show, Tales from the Dark Side, Trick or Treat. I'll put this right up. It's in that area there.
I think it's right outside that area. I think it's right outside that area. It's like top 10 for me, probably.
Yeah, I mean, I dug it more than I thought I would, and I'm not an anthology fan, so for me to get excited was great.
I'm excited that you liked it.
Yeah,
I wasn't expecting you to enjoy it at all, to be honest.
You and me both. So I've watched this again.
Definitely top 10 for me. Maybe top 5. I'd have to think about it a bit, but I'm going to watch this again. I really liked it.
That could be an episode if we ever get stuck. We could each do like top 5 anthologies.
We'd all have the same 5.
Yeah.
Go watch The House That Dripped Blood back from the Hammer days. That's a great anthology.
Is it?
Ingrid Pitt.
Oh, yes. And there it is. That's all I need. Thank you.
I'll look into it.
All right. So we ran incredibly long.
You know what? It's our Halloween episode. If you don't like it, turn it off.
I was actually going to dress up in a costume because I thought that's maybe what we did on the show, but I didn't know, and I didn't want to be the only asshole dressing up. So
hello,
apologies
there's the asshole dressing up right there.
That's not really I honestly think he would have worn that on any other Tuesday night. I don't think that's really dressing up.
Exactly.
But anyway, I really enjoyed talking to you guys about this stuff. It was a good episode.
Yeah, this was
Thanks,
fun.
man. You did a good job.
We talked so long. I'm sober. God damn it.
That's actually disappointing. I feel bad now.
I get to go to. Oh, I got to watch Ghost of Frankenstein. So still have that.
I got to pick something that my wife would enjoy. So hit me with a recommendation real quick before we go.
Liquid Sky.
Like a horror movie she would like?
Yeah, she's more normie than not normie.
VHS.
We watched that.
No.
7.
No.
Come on, 7 we've watched. You
guys are terrible. Double Penetration Party Girls.
Oh, there you go.
Part 7.
All right.
Hocus Pocus.
Is it better than part 6? Is it better than part 6?
Oh, way better. This is way more cream pies.
Okay.
So, the
Please
ones
not
that
in my
go in
life.
the face. The ones that go in the face. Cream pie.
That is how we're
One
going to end
banana
the
cream
show.
pie.
Hey, quick question. Do we want to do the new Tremors movie or not?
I'll do it. Ass Blasters on Netflix, right?
I mean,
There's
I'll
other
do
stuff.
it,
We could look at other stuff.
I'll
We could
do
decide
it.
later.
Fuck
but
it, it's November.
I have to watch all the other Tremors movies because I feel like I'm missing out.
No,
'cause I haven't
you
seen
don't.
all
No,
of
you
them.
don't.
You don't.
You do not.
We're telling you right now.
You do
By the
not.
way, the last Tremors episode we did had something like 30,000 views. So
I mean,
That's
here we
true.
go. That-
Maybe we should.
might not be a bad idea.
All right. So we're going Tremors next.
Okay.
All right, guys.
Let's go.
Bye.
Bye.
See you.
Have a happy Halloween, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Game over, man.